The Wicked Fast Podcast with Longboy and Timmy G.
Hey, this is Dale Jr.
Hey, this is Jeff Gordon.
Hey, this is William Byron.
Hey, this is Kyle Busch.
Hey, guys, this is Ross Chastain.
Hey, this is Joey Logano.
Hey, it's Ryan Blaney.
Hey, it's Daytona 500 winner Michael McDowell.
Hey, this is Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Hey, this is Kevin Harvick.
You're listening to
The Wicked Fast
Podcast.
Yeah. I'm trying a little more New England.
Wicked Fast.
Did we just become best friends? Yep.
Hello, this is the Wicked Fast Podcast.
Now, to anyone out there who wants to go fast, anybody.
I want to go fast.
Drivers, start your engines!
Wow. Wicked Fast Podcast. Episode 277. We're going to wrap up that regular season, get ready for the playoffs. Brian Bell here.
Timmy G over here. Hello, everyone.
Over there.
Welcome aboard.
And of course, you can find us on all the social medias at Wicked Fast PDCST on X, formerly Twitter, at Wicked Fast Podcast, everywhere else, Instagram, Threads, Facebook. We're streaming this live on Facebook. And we do have the Wicked Fast Podcast YouTube channel as well, where we'll post the full video if you want to listen to the podcast as a video, and you can check it out there. So please subscribe, click the like button on YouTube for Wicked Fast Podcast. And there we go. How you doing, Timmy G?
Good. How are you, bud? Nice to see you.
Good.
What Irish pub are you rocking?
Do you know which? Come on, you're a movie buff. What movie is this shirt from?
Oh, is that the Christian Bale, Mickey
Nope.
Ward movie? No,
No.
I have no idea then.
The Town.
Oh,
Jem
yeah.
wore this shirt in The Town.
Jem wore this shirt. Yeah, yeah. Who's
So, yeah,
Kyle?
that's my
Who-
whose
who's
guy
Kyle
we taking? Yeah, some people are going to get hurt. So anyway, of course, thanks to our friends over at Big Night Entertainment, Big Night Live. Anything going on over there? Everything good?
Oh, busy season is right around the corner.
All the fine podcasts that we have over there with the Big Night Entertainment.
Yeah,
group, Big
actually,
Night Media.
some great news about Big Night Media. Probably by the end of September, we will have a brand new podcast studio.
Ooh,
Right next to TD Garden and Big Night Live,
really?
and it will be set up like the Today Show, so people can come in and see
I want to do the show there.
with live video cameras and all that. So we could
Well,
meet there if you'd
wow.
like. Yeah.
That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, we got a couple new podcasts coming on the way. So yeah.
All right. Good deal.
So
Excellent.
Once it all gets built, maybe we can meet there.
All
and
right. Sounds
record
good.
face to face like the glory days.
Like the old days when we'd
Back
jam
on-
into a studio that was too small.
Oh no, I'm talking like the size of this thing is going to be like how
The
we
old studio, the
originally
big one?
started. The big
Or in
one.
the big spare
Yeah,
studio.
where we
back
had
at
to
the
like
station.
sign up on the
That was good.
whiteboard. Yeah,
That
those were
was
the
fun.
days.
Those were the days. All right. Well, let's get into it because we've got, we went from two kind of boring road races to it was a pretty good race. It was exciting.
It was exciting.
And I did leave points in the garage. We'll talk fantasy.
Oh, I did too. Probably my worst fantasy. Probably how long have we been doing this year? This league? 4 years? 3 years?
Yeah, something like that.
My worst performance ever.
I just got
I
caught
dropped two
before the-
spots.
I got caught before the stage and didn't look, and I was like, "Oh, that's
Yep.
bad."
Yeah,
I wish there was some. You know what I wish on the because I got a notification to
There's
switch somebody in early in the race. It was like, "Oh, this person's outperforming someone. You should put them in the race." So I'm like, "Oh, okay." Well, so I went and switched, but I was like at a party with some guys sitting around drinking beers, and I just lost track of time, didn't go back, and
yeah.
I'm like, couldn't there be a feature that's like, hey, automatically at the end of stage 2, drop the lowest point total
Or
to the
just
garage.
tell us there's 10 laps left, like if you're at a
Right?
wedding and there's no
Yeah.
TV, like I was.
know.
Up in
Yeah,
the
you were-
middle of Vermont.
Yeah, you were up in the middle of
So
nowhere.
my service wasn't ideal. Actually, I wasn't even up in Vermont. I was basically in Canada because I was at J Peak, which is
Yeah,
Incredible
that is
place.
up there. That's up there.
But yeah, I mean,
Um,
obviously the headline from it is our local boy, Ryan Preece.
Whew.
That was one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my life.
That was so many flips.
15, 16.
Yeah, I mean, they on like the broadcast, they were like, "Yeah, that was like 10." I'm like, "This is way more than 10."
Yeah.
It was that he just caught it just right and went like airborne sideways, and it was just all over.
The fact that it got more violent as it went, I think, was the scariest part.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it really started to like
once he got so much
out of control.
Yeah. Once he got so much air, it was just like, okay.
Yeah.
What's going to happen next?
Physics is in control.
Well, yeah. I mean, Jeff Burton said it best. He's just like, it's pretty amazing. Yes, it's violent, but it's pretty amazing that something that's 35,000 pounds can do that.
Right.
Well, not 35,000.
3,500 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah,
but he's okay. And he's qualifying 6th. He in the qualifying order that they released on NASCAR.com. He will be in the car. He'll be the 6th car out on the track for qualifying.
Well, all right. Get back into it, kid.
Well, I mean, do you see his tweet? And it said, if you want to be a race car driver, you better be tough, damn it. And then 3 dots. I'm coming back.
Yeah.
So he was just like, yeah, I survived. But I think another violent crash was your boy Blaney.
He hit the wall really hard.
And what's going to be interesting about that is if we remember earlier at Daytona in the Daytona 500, Ryan Preece and Kyle Larson had that insane wreck where Ryan Preece's car basically went into Kyle Larson's car. And they updated that front clip thing that they introduced at Atlanta.
Right.
And Ryan Blaney was like, thank God that was in there. So it's going to be really interesting because a lot of people online with Ryan Preece said that like the roof flap broke on that car. So it's going to be interesting to see if NASCAR adds anything else once they do all their research for it.
Well, I can't imagine that you could do anything that's going to keep a roof flap on when it's doing that.
No, but like the part that was like inside the car because of the flips.
Yeah. I mean, that's just insane. But really, like Blaney's crash, I mean, again, you go back to Daytona and crashes and you think of the Dale Sr. crash that
it was literally in the same spot.
Yeah, like up into that wall the same way. And it's,
but then you have, you think now you have the safer barrier.
They've come so far. Right. Well, that's the thing I was gonna say is like you see those crashes and they were very similar styles, but you see how far we've come that it's like, a hard hit, but it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Like the Dale Sr. crash looked like nothing at the time.
Yeah, well, with no Hans device, no safer barrier, and no.
He was still wearing an open face helmet.
Yeah. So that's that was pretty tough. I mean, Kyle Petty got a little defensive on Twitter.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he said some fans were tweeting out about how dangerous the sport is and how visibly agonizing that Ryan Preece accident could happen. And he said, I don't know what world you live in. You strap a guy in a car and ask him to go 200 miles an hour in a pack of 30 or 40 cars. This is going to happen. You're going to have these things. I think every driver sits in one of these cars. It's a calculated risk. Sometimes in the past we walked away, and sometimes in the past people that we love and people that we have cared about didn't walk away.
Yeah, well, it's a little close. It's a little close for him.
Yeah, so I feel like when people are kind of being like, "Oh my God, what a violent wreck," he could be like, "Yeah,
no
was
kidding.
it that violent?"
Yeah,
I mean, it was still very violent. I'm not taking away from the fact of what happened, but I was also there when Adam Petty died, and that was scary, especially because that was what 99, 97, 2000.
Okay, 2000.
And I was up there. I was up there with your dad.
Yeah.
Like that was crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy. Because then a couple months later, the NASCAR race had to get delayed because of 9/11.
Yep.
Like that was wild. But yeah.
What a year. What a year.
What a year 2000 was.
Oh boy.
Never forget. But yeah, so obviously Ryan Preece, Ryan Blaney, glad that they're okay. Glad that NASCAR is doing some things because a lot of drivers have said that the next gen cars really aren't that safe. And hopefully now, because of some of these accidents, like NASCAR has shown already that like, hey, we know the next gen car isn't perfect, but we're going to do everything we can to make it safer. And they did that with Ryan Blaney. Now they just have to do that with the Ryan Preece.
I'm surprised that Ryan Preece is going to be right back out there. I can't believe there's no concussion protocol that he didn't get concussed in that wreck.
Well,
but I mean, I don't know.
Well, I feel like that's where the safety comes in, because they are just so like locked in with the Hans device and even everything protecting them on the side. I feel like his head couldn't even have moved that much.
Yeah, but your brain's going to be spinning around. Just like the car.
for sure.
I don't know.
But yeah,
I also
we're just glad he's okay.
We just had our athletic meeting for school, so they were going over brain stuff for kids sports last night. So it's fresh on my brain. Anyway, but yeah, I for quite a while I was like, I thought Chase Briscoe was actually going to pull it off. What a great run he had!
I mean,
that was incredible.
I mean, remember that I texted you? I was like, Chase Briscoe got the pull. Watch out. If I'm right, I'm going to be so annoying on the podcast. But I mean, he did lead 60 some odd
67 laps, I think.
Yeah. So still a very impressive run for them. But unfortunately, Stewart Haas only has one car going into the playoffs moving forward for a team of 4. So hopefully Josh Berry can help them a little bit next year. But speaking of Fords, I mean, these RFK guys seem to have figured something out.
That was great.
1-2 finish. Chris Buescher gets his 3rd win of the year, and because of that, he skyrockets up the playoff standings.
I know. I was just excited that I had both of those guys on my fantasy team. But I mean, really, Chris Buescher won 3 out of the last 5 races of the season.
Yeah.
Like, who's hotter than Chris Buescher right now?
Yeah.
It's
like
amazing.
Kevin Harvick last year. Did he peak too soon? But part of me wanted Chase Elliott just to wreck them all so Chase could be in the playoffs.
He was right there, man.
I know.
Was right there.
It was so annoying. I was actually doing this. For those of you that aren't watching on Facebook, you can't.
Or YouTube.
I was actually like holding my phone like this during the wedding, thinking that I was recording everyone dancing, but I was actually watching like the last 10 laps of the race.
Pro move.
Yeah.
Pro move. Hey, Timmy, can we get that video you got of us dancing?
They're like, hey, can you send that to me? I'm like, it's such a big it's such a big file. I'll have to email it to you when I get back to my room.
I had it on selfie mode. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. You just recorded yourself for 15 minutes?
Yeah, didn't realize it. Jeez, I don't know.
That's on me.
Fool. What a fool.
Oops, I did it again.
I was just so caught up in the moment.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's fine.
Yeah, and it was amazing too that Brad Kay had such a good finish, considering his car was on fire for a while.
Yeah, and then had to literally do that loop-de-loop. I'm surprised NASCAR allowed that.
It was during a red flag, aren't you?
Exactly. That's why I was very surprised.
Do that?
It was almost like the Leonardo DiCaprio gift. Like when he started moving, you snap and point. You're like, hey, what is he doing?
It was just a slow-mo circle.
Yep.
And it put the fire out. Yeah. I mean, imagine did they ever talk about that? Like, is there any penalty for moving during the red flag?
Yeah. If you're the officials, what are you doing? Like, is someone like, no, and the other person just like, the guy's going to light on fire. And the other person's like, good point. But no, like, I feel like if that
you're not supposed to move.
I feel like
playing red light, green light, you're out.
Yeah, you're out. I feel like if that was F1, the stewards would have gone through the roof and it would have been a whole episode on Drive to Survive. Like, why did Charles Leclerc decide to do this move?
Yeah.
And just, I love, just speaking of F1 real quick. I love how much people bash that reporter on Drive to Survive. Like, he came in first and that's why he won the race. Well, yes.
Hot takes.
He ran out of gas and everyone passed him. Yes. But before we move on,
obvious.
Chase Elliott.
Yeah.
He made it into the owner championship, even though Bubba had, a reasonable run. And so he's at 2001 points. Ryan Blaney, who's in that last spot of 12th, has 2008 points. And it's treated just like the playoff. Every 3 races, people get eliminated. So, if Chase finishes very strong and he can get Mr. Hendrick 2, maybe 3 cars into that Final Four in Phoenix. That's important. So Chase may be disappointed personally, but if he can make Mr. Hendrick,
because he's the third Hendrick car in the owner's
correct.
Playoffs basically.
Yeah,
because only Bowman didn't make it in there.
Yeah, and it's very interesting because when Kyle Larson made it a couple of years ago, he actually didn't get paid for that, and he had to kind of renew his contract a little bit, change his contract around, stating, "Hey, I'm in the owner's championship points. You're going to get paid, and I'm going to get paid a little bit too."
Yeah,
so
that's interesting.
But the other cool thing before we do move on, Michael Jordan at Daytona, congratulating Bubba Wallace.
That was pretty awesome.
I want to go to the Daytona 500 so bad. I think I'm going to in 2025 once the kicks in. Just a little pat on the back before the world gets flipped upside down. And just buy everything. Like pit pass, the pre-pit pass, the post-pit pass. Or I'm wondering if I can get in for media.
Can we get media credentials for it?
Oh, God. Just thinking about it makes my nipples hard.
Well, that's a lot of information. I appreciate that. Okay.
Just wanted to let you know. All right. Let's talk about the playoffs.
Yeah. All right. We're going to go playoffs.
We'll go playoffs, and then we'll do fantasy standings.
Okay.
Break down what people have to do for the playoffs, and then we'll hop right into Darlington.
Sounds good.
I have a lot of notes. You don't got to listen to them all, but hopefully you do. So, round of 16, 3 races this round: Darlington, Kansas, and Bristol. All right. The Bristol is on the actual Bristol track, not the dirt track that we have seen in previous years early in the season.
Right.
Manufacturer wise, 5 Chevys, 6 Fords, 5 Toyotas. The only Toyota that didn't make it was Ty Gibbs. Way to disappoint your grandfather. All right. Team wise, 3 Gibbs, 2 Hendrick, 2 2311, 2 Penske's, 2 RFKs, and then a single Trackhouse, Stewart Haas Racing, Front Row Motorsports, JTG, Doherty, and RCR.
That's great.
Yep.
I think
awesome.
That's great. Yeah.
Exactly what they want. Better than 4 Gibbs, 4 Hendrick, 4 Stewart Haas.
Yeah.
2 RCR and 2 Penske. Right.
Yeah.
So we have the other great thing is we have 6 new playoff drivers added into the mix versus last year. Chris Buescher.
Okay.
MTJ, Michael McDowell, Bubba Wallace, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and Brad Kay. The only first time ever playoff driver in this field, Bubba Wallace.
That's pretty good.
That's great. Love that.
It is funny how at the end of the race, when Buescher's winning and they cut to Bubba's car to get his reaction,
Yeah, no, I mean, it is very cool for Bubba. Great. And it also shuts up a lot of the haters for him. I mean, I think it will help if he can move on to the round of 12. But we'll see. And I have stats that can prove that Bubba Wallace can pull this off.
All right.
And I'll explain very shortly. We have 6 former champions in the field. Brad Kay, Kevin Harvick, Martin Truex Jr. They've all won 1 championship. And then we have multiple championship winners in Joey Logano, Kyle Larson, and Kyle Busch.
Yep.
So here are the playoff standings. William Byron and Martin Truex Jr. are tied at 2,036 points. I'll explain why in a second. Then it's Denny Hamlin, Chris Buescher, Kyle Busch, Kyle Larson. They're all within 10 points of each other.
Okay.
Then Christopher Bell, who is in 6th place or 7th place, whichever number you like better, has 2,014 points. He's followed by Ross Chastain, Brad Kay, Tyler Reddick, Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney. Michael McDowell is 7 points behind Christopher Bell, but is currently sitting in that 13th spot. And as the playoffs usually work, 3 races, 4 get cut, 3 races, 4 get cut, and then et cetera, et cetera. Followed by Ricky Stenhouse Jr., who has 2,005 points, Kevin Harvick, who has 2,004 points, and Bubba Wallace. I haven't dove this deep, but I think he may be one of the 1 or 2 drivers ever to just make it in on points without a win and or a stage win. Like Bubba.
Yeah, because he has no playoff points.
No playoff points at all. And I don't think that has happened in a while. I'm going to look back and see, but I don't think that's ever happened.
Yeah.
And if it has, it's very slim. So Martin Truex Jr., won the regular season championship, got a picture with the nice trophy after the race, and that gave him 15 additional playoff points, which is the reason why he is tied with William Byron in 2016 or 2036, I should say. NASCAR introduced these regular season additional playoff points if you win the regular season championship in 2017. There's only been one driver to win the regular season championship that hasn't made the Final Four. And that was Kevin Harvick in 2020.
Okay.
And the first person to ever win the regular season championship and win the championship in 2017, some guy named Martin Truex Jr.
Imagine that.
So I did some average finishes for the drivers over the last 3 races at these tracks. And what I mean by that is I did the last Kansas race this year, the last Darlington race this year, and last year's pavement or concrete or asphalt, whatever the case may be, at Bristol.
Not dirt.
Not dirt. Okay. So the last 3 races at each individual track. So 3 races total. So your race winners were William Byron, Denny Hamlin, and Chris Buescher, arguably the 3 hottest guys in the sport right now when it comes to their racing terms.
Yep.
Looks wise, up for debate. Your stage winners, I just said the hottest guys. Your stage winners were Martin Truex Jr., Denny Hamlin, Christopher Bell, Ross Chastain, Brad Kay, and Joey Logano. So we've never had multiple stage winners on these tracks. Most laps led, Martin Truex Jr. led 145 at Darlington earlier this year. And then earlier this year as well, another 79 at Kansas. Chris Buescher led 169 at Bristol. Christopher Bell led 149 at Bristol. Brad Kay, 109 at Bristol. Kyle Larson led 85 at Kansas, and Ross Chastain led 95 at Darlington.
Okay.
So, before I begin the average finishes of breaking it down for each playoff driver, Bubba Wallace has 2 top 5 finishes at Kansas and Darlington this year.
All right.
When I say Bubba's number, it is because of the Bristol race last fall.
Right.
So just keep that in mind. Okay.
Okay.
So the best average finish at these 3 tracks, William Byron at 2.3, which is ridiculous. He is
that's not bad.
A third, a first, and a third. And that first is when he was doing that Jeff Gordon throwback color theme this year at Darlington.
Yeah.
So there's your Jeff Gordon mention.
And just, I know we'll get into the fantasy stuff, but fantasy resets, and you've got each driver 5 times for the playoffs.
So it's basically
It's
basically 1.25 per round, give or take.
All right.
If you want to spiral. All right. So best average finish after William Byron is Denny Hamlin and Kevin Harvick at 7. Then Chris Buescher and Kyle Larson both have an average finish of 9th. Brad Kay and Bubba Wallace have an average finish of 12th. So technically Bubba has the 6th or 7th best average finish at these tracks of the last.
That's factoring in that race that he didn't do so well.
Where he finished, I believe it was 29th at Bristol.
Okay. All right.
Crazy. So keep that in mind. Ross Chastain is 13th. Joey Logano 17th. Christopher Bell, Ryan Blaney, and Tyler Reddick all have an average finish of 18th. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is 19th. And then Michael McDowell, Kyle Busch, and Martin Truex Jr. are 23rd and or worse.
Interesting. But, and MTJ's got that nice, he's right up the top, so he can kind of not worry as much about that first round.
Yes, but you do not want an average finish of 23 or worse.
No, you don't.
No, you do not. All right. So what Brian and I do every single year to start the playoffs, we pick the first 4 that are going to be out, and then we pick the final 4. So go right ahead.
All right. First 4 out. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Michael McDowell, Ryan Blaney.
Your boy Blaney?
I think Blaney. Yeah, my boy Blaney.
Okay.
And then
I think it's going to be
Tyler Reddick.
I think it's going to be Reddick, Chastain, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and unfortunately,
Bubba.
Kevin Harvick.
Ooh. I feel like Harvick can get going.
I hope so. I think Harvick, his best shot is Bristol.
Yeah.
So
I think he really needs to get it going.
So Ricky Kevin, Ross, and Tyler will be my 4. So who do you think is the final 4 in Phoenix?
Boy.
My final 4, I believe, will be Larson, Byron, Joey, and Denny.
Byron, Truex, Busher, and Kyle Busch.
Busher?
Busher.
Oh,
I think he's going to. I want to see it.
You just think he's like focused in our.
I do.
RFK.
I think he's.
All
I
right,
think
so
they're
I'm
really,
going Larson, Byron, Denny, Logano, and you're going MTJ,
Truex,
Byron,
Busher, and Busch,
and Kyle Busch.
Yep.
God, that's gonna make Busch beer uncomfortable with so many Busch.
A lot of Busch.
All right, so there's your little playoff preview, and obviously we'll do it. I'll do the same thing for the start of round 12. Where are the races at round 12? The round of 12, I should say. Talladega is one of them. Talladega, yeah. So it goes Texas, Talladega, Roval. So really fast, even faster. Good luck.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it's Vegas. Homestead, Martinsville, and then Phoenix.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll do another round of 12 recap when we come up. But this weekend we will be at Darlington. And what a sponsor. One of my favorite beverages.
Hang on. Do you want to hit fantasy before we hit the Darlington preview?
Fantasy.
Let's go hit.
We got to give a shout out to Jackson for regular.
That's right. We have the regular season champion. All right. Let me see. Where is mine? There we go. So for the final race, the double chump did show up. I left 30 points in the garage, which would have moved me from where I finished in 10th to 3rd.
Oh, can you actually do that for me? Because I just know that I left Brad K in my garage and I wanted to
stand by.
Jump off a cliff.
If I can embiggen this. Oh, there we go. All right. So if we go to race results and I can pull you up. Let's see. What did you leave in the garage here?
45 points. So give me another 40.
All right. So give you 40.
So I'd be at 139. I wouldn't have done much. I would have gone up 2 spots. Wouldn't have done much. That's all right.
Yeah. I would have been tied for 3rd had I just, paid attention.
Right. And then the league.
So overall league standings, left turns for days. Jackson takes the regular season championship, much like his father has done.
Those 40 points.
Yeah.
I would have moved into 4th and only been 2 points behind the chump himself.
Yep.
But I'm telling you, NASCAR guy
Chris Nate is
Busher
doing
vibes
great.
as of late. He's been on a heater. He's the
very strong.
Left turns for days is our William Byron, and NASCAR guy is our Chris Busher.
Absolutely.
For sure.
And
I am
and double chump is Brad K. Puntable face. Puntable face.
That's good content.
All right. There you go.
All right. But now going forward, you get 5 picks.
Right.
So Brian, if you go to your entries right there on the screen.
Yep. So here's
you get 5 picks and you're allowed. So a couple years ago, you were allowed to only have like 3 playoff drivers and 2 non-playoff drivers. And
right. Now it's just
here they are. Everyone gets 5
each.
picks for the playoffs. Here we go. So actually, before we start Darlington, let's look at these matchups.
Yeah. Here are the featured matchups for the first race here. So we got Denny and Kevin Harvick. That doesn't seem fair.
So that's the 3 seed versus the 15th seed.
Yep. Tyler Reddick, Christopher Bell. Okay. I can see that.
Oh, a
MTJ,
heater.
William Byron. There you
Heater
go.
right
I
off the
mean,
bat, and then Brad K and Blaney. Okay. Yeah,
Yep.
no, I mean, you can't be upset with it. The only thing
All
I
right.
probably would have rather have seen maybe Denny versus Ross Chastain instead of Kevin Harvick, but besides that, like them all.
Yeah. Yeah. So
That's a
there's
good one.
your,
Way to completely redeem yourself there.
It's all right. It's all right.
All right.
Plenty of playoff picks to come. All right. So yeah, Darlington.
The Crown Royal.
Oh, you're all about it.
What a beverage, eh? What a beverage. The Crown Royal presents Darlington Labor Day weekend on USA on Sunday at 6 p.m. I don't even know how many miles it is. It's just a weekend.
Does it still come in like that bag, like the Crown?
Yeah.
Crown Royal comes in the nice
I
bag?
actually saw a guy in Loudon at Animal Hill, ran up to him, gave him a hug because he had a vest sewn of all Crown Royal bags. It was incredibly tactful. Tacky, I should say.
Tacky, yes.
Yeah, tacky.
That's really
But
something.
I just went up to him and I was like, hey, man, this little nip right here, I'm drinking some Crown Royal myself. That's incredible.
That's something else. Wow.
Yeah. So.
All right.
But yeah, so Sunday, 6 p.m. Practice and qualifying will be on Saturday at 12:30 p.m. Both will be on the USA Network. Earlier this year, William Byron won that race. Kevin Harvick, Chase Elliott, owner championship, Brad K and Bubba Wallace. Those were the top 5.
Okay.
Bubba Wallace. 7 out of the 16 playoff drivers finished in the top 10. And Martin Truex Jr. led a gazillion laps in this race, and he was involved in a little bit of a wreck and then finished 31st. So MTJ is a favorite here for sure.
Yes.
He just has to finish the race. And this was also, I believe, the last time people complained about Ross Chastain's aggressive driving, because we haven't heard about it since. But it will be interesting to see if a lot of drivers who didn't like his aggressive driving at Darlington, when they go back to Darlington, remember that, and that screws Ross going forward, which is why I believe he is not making it out of the round of 12.
Revenge, a dish best served cold. Wait for the playoffs.
Yep. So the last 3 races at Darlington for fantasy, your last 3 winners, Eric Jones, Joey Logano, William Byron. And you got to remember Eric Jones, especially because remember last year, like the first 5 races were non-playoff drivers that won them.
That's right.
So could that happen
I feel
again?
and I feel like Chase might be the guy to do it.
Exactly.
one week too late, Chase. I feel like he's coming for it.
That's all right. At least his merch will be on sale. All right. So best average finishes, and focus on a name here, folks, that I promise you're not going to use 5 times in the last 10 races. William Byron, Joey Logano, Christopher Bell, Tyler Reddick, and Justin Haley have an average finish of within the top 10 in the last 3 races at Darlington.
Wow.
Most top 5 finishes. Each of these drivers have 2. Tyler Reddick, Chase Elliott, Joey Logano, and Kevin Harvick. Then there are 10 drivers who have 10 top 10 finishes twice. Brad K, Christopher Bell, Kevin Harvick, Joey Logano, Bubba Wallace, Michael McDowell, William Byron, Chase Elliott, Tyler Reddick, and Justin Haley.
All right, man.
Not saying do it, just saying it might not hurt, because it's early. It's early.
Yeah.
Now, last 3 races at Darlington. For Martin Truex Jr., he has an average finish of 28.7.
What the heck?
Ross Chastain, average finish 26.9.
He's always running into something.
So
interesting.
I'm going to pull up our Win Bet app. And if you folks, football's right around the corner. NASCAR championship. If you think who's going to win the championship, you can bet on the championship as well.
Yep.
Sign up. WinBet app.
Yeah. XBN Wicked.
Mm-hmm.
And put your $20 in, get your $100, make some bets.
Yeah. And it's very protective too. You have to log in every single time.
Yes, it's very well. Very good security. Very good security.
Very good security as well.
Yeah.
Oh, one thing while
not
pulling
like Big
this up.
Poppy's phone. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, you got X. Yeah. All right. So NASCAR championship odds. Here we go. William Byron and Martin Truex Jr. are both at plus 400. Kyle Larson plus 500. Kyle Busch plus 600, as well as Denny Hamlin plus 600. And then it dropped, or I guess the odds drop or whatever.
Right.
Christopher Bell and Joey Logano are plus 1,200. And if you think someone like Brian Bell, who thinks Chris Buescher can make it to the Final Four, which means he has a shot at winning the championship,
yeah,
you bet $20 right now on Christopher Bell winning, you would win $360 because he is plus 1,800 to win
Buescher?
the championship.
Okay.
Chris Buescher.
This is on the championship. All right.
On the championship. And the lowest odds, ladies and gentlemen, is Ricky Stenhouse Jr. at plus 10,000.
Interesting.
So if you feel like you have that type of money where you can just say, hey, I'm going to blow $20 on Ricky Stenhouse Jr., you would win $2,000 if he wins this whole thing. All right. And as far as the Crown Royal Labor Day weekend cookout 500 extravaganza, Kyle Larson and Martin Truex Jr. are your favorites at plus 500. William Byron plus 750, as well as Denny Hamlin. Christopher Bell and Ross Chastain are plus 1,000. Tyler Reddick and Kyle Busch are plus 1,200. And if you want to go get after Chase Elliott, plus 1,800. And Eric Jones, who won this race last year, is plus 2,800.
All right.
And there you have it.
Hey, now here. All right. See, I don't bet a lot.
Okay.
I've done some stuff on the apps, but like if you just went and put $10 on each driver, right? So you drop like $180, right?
This is incredible. Go ahead.
What's the worst odds? Like, then you got everybody. You're going to win one of them, and if a long shot wins, you win more of your money back. But like, drop $160, right? Put $10 on each driver. Right? How could you lose?
No, it's a wildly fair.
Even if like the favorite wins and you put $10 on it, what do you win?
So for this race, you'd win 40
for the championship.
Oh, the championship was plus 400. So if you put $10 down, you win $40.
Okay. So if one of the favorites wins, you don't really win your money back. But if anybody down, you could win it back,
Yeah.
This is why I'm not a gambler. Anyway, just bet on everybody. Somebody's got to win.
Yeah, no, you would basically, the way that you would have to do it is like if you bet $10 on Kyle Larson, $10 on Martin Truex Jr., $10 on Denny Hamlin, and so that's $40. You would have to have someone that was like plus 8, and then you bet $10 on, let's say, someone that was at plus 600. So you make 5 bets, and 3 of them are plus 500, and one of them is plus 600. That plus 600 would have to win for you to make $20.
Yeah. Well, this is
you would have to go. It would probably work out better for you at Daytona because it's such a crapshoot, or do that the week of Talladega. We'll split it.
Okay,
we each throw $5 on 5 drivers and see if we win.
All right. Who do you think is going to win this Darlington race?
I think Chase Elliott is going to win it.
So do I.
and the podcast. Thanks for listening. We're on YouTube now. Subscribe. Bye-bye. See you later.
Yeah. Find us on all the socials at Wicked Fast Podcast, at Wicked Fast PDCST on the Twitter X machine. And of course, thanks to Big Night Entertainment, Big Night Media. Check out all their fine podcasts. And we'll catch you next week. Yeah. Timmy's out.
That was incredible.
See you. Bye.
Bye.